It's still Monday. Monday's episode is already up, and it's more than 10 hours since I clocked out from Monday, but it's still Monday. So I guess this episode will be Tuesdays. I'm headed to Jessup, Maryland, to a giant food distribution center. It's heavy traffic usually, but I'm leaving shortly after midnight, so it shouldn't be too bad. And I'm still thinking about interesting ideas from yesterday, and we'll see what we can unpack today. It's really cool to think about becoming a better person through adversity, and it helps my attitude a lot. I want to complain about things, and I'm realizing that all things do work together for good if that's your belief system, and you don't have to pretend. It really is true. So we'll see what else pops into my head today. Yesterday we were talking about how you might feel wimpy sometimes, and that's okay, and how you can work through it so that you are your best and least toxic self. I'm on the way back from Jessup, Maryland. It's only 6:12 a.m., so that's why the sun is at the angle it is. This is a beautiful corridor, and I like the muted light. So another reason that we have problems with like crises when our partner is interested in other people, we've explored the idea that it isn't because we're less, but that humans are just naturally interested in sexual variety. It's an evolutionary strategy. But when in history, when in our millions of years as a species, our pair bonded mate has looked around, it's been in our best interest to raise a warning flag and say, this is maybe good for my partner, but not for me, because there are different strategies for getting our genes into the future. So what's good for the goose isn't always good for the gander when it comes to strategies. We've already talked about a male is advantaged by spreading his seed and seeing, because it's relatively cheap for him, the investment is smaller, he has so many more seeds to spread, and a woman has far fewer eggs. Each one therefore is more precious, and it takes a lot of resources from a partner and a village perhaps to get the offspring raised up. Human offspring take a long time to reach maturity, and so that's a big investment. And so a woman is genetically programmed to be more careful, but it also behooves her to have a variety of donors, because she'll end up with more robust offspring. She may end up with more resources. She also may end up with problems. Sometimes this happens with other primates. A jealous male will kill the offspring of other males and only raise his own. So it's in the best interest of a woman not to reveal that there is more than one male who has sired her offspring. So it's strategic for a woman and a man not to show each other's cards, or at least not all of them. They have to work together, but there are also strategies where they are helped by working separately with their own agenda and not a partner agenda. So it's kind of a tricky dance. cold. So it isn't possible to just snap your fingers and think, I'm not going to think that way anymore. I'm not going to feel that way anymore. We go on high alert when our pair bonded mate strays. Even though it's in their best interest to do so, it isn't necessarily in ours, at least from an evolutionary perspective. So, if you think about respect, traditionally, respecting a mate means not subjecting that mate to your philandering. It's not respectful to philander, even though it may be fun, and even though it may be in your genetic best interest, or just it makes you feel happy. So we have these warning bells that go off in our head really loudly. Hey, that shouldn't be happening. Hey, that makes me feel bad. That makes me feel not valuable. And it's not a small feeling. It's a colossal feeling, and I don't know what to do with it. And I'm hardwired to feel it anyway. So then we have to look at a different kind of evolution. We have to look at the kind of spiritual evolution and emotional evolution we want. We didn't get where we are now without a history that we can trace. And we won't get where we're going without a history that we'll end up being able to trace. So if we're trying to figure out where we want to go from here, we're not stuck. We don't have to stay in the same path. We don't have to heed those warning bells. We can actually choose different emotions to associate with what's going on. It's interesting that when we are interested in porn, the reason is because it's exciting, it's new, it's different, it's not what you normally would see or experience. And it fits into that fascination we have for sexual variety. So in the plot, if there is much of a plot, you have people doing naughty things that they're not supposed to do with a monogamous, pair-bonded situation. And it is exciting because it's forbidden, it's taboo. And if you've been in a long-term relationship that's gone stale, or not necessarily stale, just predictable. So this car in front of me got in front of me and then slowed down because they're probably texting. Let's see what they're doing. I don't think you can look over. I can't grab the camera. Okay, so if they don't hold their same speed, now what are they doing? I hope they know that they're annoying as fuck. And that's mild, of course. You know that I see much worse than that. I'll probably edit that all out. Anyway, we humans can choose our evolution going forward. Well, everybody's trying to make my drive interesting today. At least that guy stepped on the gas. I wish he would continue to step on the gas. Oh, it's that one again. Look at that chump. You know what they're going to do. They're going to... No, they didn't do it. I thought they were going to pull over right in front of me. You know, though, after I go around the truck, they're going to go around the truck, and then they're going to go around me, and then they're going to slow down again. That's alright, the speed limit changes up here. Nobody ever goes 55. That truck I just passed probably won't go 55 either, so he'll have to pass me again. So a different kind of evolution is when we decide that it's more exciting to have sexual variety for ourselves and for our partners. And some of us are even more excited when we're not feeling wimpy about our partner's exciting escapades than about our own. So, and that's also programmed. We have that from a long time also. So I think some of it isn't just completely changing the way we feel about things, but also choosing which of our past emotions we're going to keep and which we're going to think about discarding. We're headed into York from the south, from the Baltimore side. Watch how this guy merges. He's not even aware that I'm here, and now he's thinking, oh, maybe I should speed up. Okay, now I'll speed up. Do you come onto the freeway like that? Not even noticing, big, dumb, and happy? Not noticing if there's somebody that you have to merge with? So as I was saying, I like my life to be exciting. I like it to be titillating. I like it to be enjoyable that way, and I have just as much fun. I don't think my partner feels the same, but I have just as much fun when I know about her escapades. I delight in them as much as in my own, or more, probably more, when I'm not feeling nervous, and when I can keep all those warning bells from clanging too loudly in my head. And I shared yesterday, the best way for me to do that is to realize that I am a great person, we all are, and to work on feeling confident and secure. And when I have that going for me, then everything's wonderful. I don't have to ask my partner to put the brakes on. I don't have to ask her to be more traditionally respectful. I just love everything that happens when I'm in the right frame of mind. And I think that would be a place for humans to evolve to if they could collectively look at that sort of outcome and say, yeah, that's great. That's what we all collectively want. Right now we all seem to collectively agree that monogamy is the default. People who are not opposed at all to gay marriage still see heterosexual relationships as the default. And I think we're still kind of focused on perpetuating our species. And I've said before that our species acts a lot like a cancer, like a virus. It just spreads without regard to how many resources it's expending. And the planet would obviously be healthier without our species on it. We're an invasive species, I think. So I don't know that perpetuating the species, or at least causing us to grow from 7 or 8 billion to whatever we seem to be headed towards, I'm not sure that's a good way to evolve either. It would be good if every baby born had people who wanted to be there and had people skillful at nurturing babies and helping them grow into happy adults.
In 1 mile, exit right.
So I'm thinking we obviously could evolve in ways that are more conducive to our happiness collectively than how we've gone for the last 10,000 years since agriculture started. Wheat and other grains aren't good for us. We're a lot healthier on the older diet, pre-agriculture. Our teeth were a lot better. It would be good if we could steer the ship in a better direction, if we could just say, you know, the way we've gone.
Take exit 13 on the right.
to Pennsylvania 462, then take the first right.
The way we've been going is horrible for women, not so good for children either. And I think we could do a lot better.
In 1/4 mile, turn right on US 30.
Now you're on the right page. That process where the different GPS units had different ideas about what to do, I think that describes how our human condition is.
Turn right.
But maybe eventually we'll all agree on a better course of action, because we can't go anywhere as individuals.
Turn right at the traffic light.
But we can go within the collective will. We can go as individuals. So I was saying people agree that it's okay, gay marriage is okay, but it isn't like the mainstream. It's becoming mainstream. To be bisexual may be becoming mainstream. It seems to be more acceptable for women right now than for men. But it's interesting to think about not only what's acceptable, but what people actually do. I predict that polyamory and open relationships will become more acceptable. They're not there yet. If you look at the default with college students who are pretty progressive in lots of ways, they're still not on board with, I mean, some of them are, and there's more interest in it now than there was when I was in college, but you still have, and that may be the last holdout. There doesn't seem to be an agreement that way would be less toxic, especially with regard to jealousy, than monogamy is, than the institution of marriage is. Even pair bonding. Pair bonding is interesting. I don't know that that's ever going to go away, but there may be different configurations of it that we might want to decide to evolve to as a species. I'll leave you with the water of the Susquehanna, all shimmery in that light, in the beautiful sunlight, and that bridge, the old bridge that I was talking about yesterday.
1 1/4 miles, take the exit on the right toward Pennsylvania 441, then take the first right.
Pretty spectacular.
In 1 mile, exit right.